Ready. Set.
Gamecast.
Welcome to Ready, Set, Gamecast, a bi-weekly podcast about video games and the friends we made along the way. I'm Bryce, and I'm joined by the first friend I made along the way, Darian.
I think that's inaccurate because it was yours and Teddy's podcast before you invited me to be on it.
No,
I was about to say, I think I was second.
we were all...
Were you?
I think so.
Because you convinced me to be on it because you were like, well, I don't want it to be three white dudes talking about video games, so we wanted to add a female voice. That was definitely a conversation we had.
I'm pretty sure I asked you both at the same time. Probably the same day.
Fun fact, I never fully said yes.
So
Bryce
it's all
was like,
been
do you
a
want to do
lie.
this? And I was like, maybe. I think I might be interested. And then he just like went along with it and was like, okay, so we're recording here. I'm like, I didn't say yes.
This whole podcast has been a lie.
Hey, Teddy,
It's all a
cheers.
fabric of our imagination.
Episode 55. Would you like to do a podcast with me?
Sure.
Okay, cool. We got it on record.
Hold on, do I get to be asked again since this whole thing has been a lie?
Darian,
I've been misled and lied to.
Darian, episode 55. Would you like to add a unique and interesting voice to this gaming news podcast?
What a nice way to put that.
No.
Oh, well, fuck. Caitlin, what are you doing? We need a person.
I have multiple people who would actually kill me if I agreed to do another podcast, so...
Next week, we're joined by the dead body of Caitlin.
Damn.
Yeah,
Cool.
my fucking ghost.
Be
Just
an
in time
interesting
for
show.
spooky season.
Yeah.
And the second friend I made along the way, Teddy Chinaris.
Yo, what up? It's your boy. I don't know what I'm doing. What's going on?
And our special guest and another friend, Caitlin.
Hi.
Hello, friends. Was the real adventure you?
No.
I mean, yeah, but probably not the adventure you wanted to have.
Yeah, that's a mood.
That's a good answer.
Okay, then I guess the real adventure was not, or was the friends I made along the way? I got mixed messages.
It was, but it's not what you wanted.
It was the real adventure, but yeah, there was no desire. You were the whole time you were like, oh god, when is it gonna stop?
I mean,
Me playing Greedfall.
When is it gonna stop? What a glowing review.
The trailer for Greedfall looks so cool, but I have not heard great things about that. But
I had a friend who was really like hyped for it before it came out, and then it came out, and he was like, "It's a game."
The way that my over on the Uppercut Discord, people were like listening to me play it while we were in our voice channel, and the thing that I kind of just kept saying to everybody was like, it's painfully mediocre, which actually makes it worse than if it was just bad.
Because like you want it to be better, and you can like tell that it could be, but it's just not.
it's just
And they just made a lot of really weird, stupid choices, and like the premise from the get was also kind of bad. Like they shouldn't have made the game in the first place, but since they did.
It kind of
well.
It kind of seems like they were going for The Witcher, and I don't know where they ended up, but it sounds like not The Witcher.
No, they were trying to basically be like a Dragon Age 2, but they failed badly.
Caitlin, since we're in it, would you like to tell us the other video games that you've been experiencing?
And it makes sense now. I'm realizing.
Yeah, so aside from Greedfall, which I finished a while ago, thank Jesus. Speaking of Dragon Age 2, I bought that yesterday. And instead of playing anything in my backlog that I need to play or things that I need to play to write about this month, I was like, what if I just spent all day playing Dragon Age 2 again? because I recently, right before PAX, bought an Xbox One S, and specifically to play backwards compatible games, and that's all that's on it. I own 3 games. They're all BioWare games. They're all backwards compatible. I spent $300 to play BioWare games. And then I've also been hopping in and out of Overland from Finji, which is a really cool game. I like it a lot. It's really fucking hard.
That's the one that's basically the Oregon Trail, but if monsters were trying to kill you the entire time.
Kind of. It's like, that's like the concept, I guess, but it's like a strategy game. It's a turn-based strategy game. So you get to a stage and there will be like a dumpster you can dig through to like see if there's supplies, or there will be like a car that you can either take or siphon gas from. Or there will be like a barrier in the way that you have to move before you can keep going, and then there are these little monsters that are around. And it's like a post-apocalypse, and it's like a post-apocalyptic road trip is how they frame it. And so you have to figure out like how to get through every stage like alive, with at least one person alive. And you're supposed to get through like multiple areas to get to the end. I've only gotten to the second area so far. I'm very bad. And it's very hard. Like, all I've seen is people having a hard time with it. But it's cool. I like it a lot still, even though I'm bad at it and I'll probably never finish.
See, that game has an undo button when you make moves, and I've heard of some people playing it like a puzzle game. Like they'll make moves, and if things go bad, they'll just undo, and try and figure out the best way to do it.
I need to figure out how to do the undo, actually, because I don't know. I haven't looked it up yet, and I think the game did tell me, but I forgot. So I've just been kind of playing through, trying to figure it out, and then living with my mistakes if I fuck something up, which I do a lot.
That's
fun fact: if you use a card to ram the monsters, it will make the car explode. So don't stay in the car after you do that.
I heard they just updated where if your car is going to explode, the characters will get out of it. And he added in, even if you try to make them stay in the car as punishment, they will still get out.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Yeah, when I was playing it, it definitely was just like, oh, the car is on fire now. And then it blew up. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they're updating the game to kind of, which is cool. That's a great thing about streaming, is that the devs can watch their game played and see how people are playing it and address things that way. And this game is built for streamers because you can connect it to your Twitch and have the characters you find be people in your Twitch chat.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm not really a streamer, so I've just been playing it on my Switch in my bed, but
I love
good game, IMO.
I love games with Twitch integration. It's always a fun way to interact with your community. Well, Darian, you like to interact with communities. Do you play games? And what are they? And have they been?
I've played there was a double blood point weekend with Dead by Daylight. I played a lot of that. And then I've been playing a lot of League of Legends because they're having a Worlds event where you can get tokens, and they have exclusive skins and chromas and stuff that you can get. Super dope. I haven't gotten much further in Mutazione. In the last podcast, I said I was going to try to finish it, and I haven't. Not because I don't want to. It's really good. But I just don't have the attention span to play a game continuously with a story. I have, my brain is too hardwired to play matches of games that I feel like when I'm just playing a game constantly, I can't. I feel like I'm messing something up. Yeah. Unless it's Kingdom Hearts. I can do that one. And God of War is pretty good at. But a lot of indie games I can't.
It's just what you're used to, you know?
Yeah, 90% of what I play is League of Legends. That's not an exaggeration.
And that'll make it so that it makes single player games a lot harder to keep your attention.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I should uninstall League of Legends.
No, don't do that because I just reinstalled it and I need someone to play with.
Yeah, my girlfriend is campaigning for me to start playing it, and I'm like, I don't.
Tell her no.
I've told her no so many times. She literally yesterday flooded our video games chat with like pictures of all the hot women from League, like trying to convince me to play, and I was like, ugh, fuck.
You're not wrong.
So there are a lot of hot women in League of Legends.
Who are the like the top 5 hottest women in League?
Ari.
Ari's up
The
there.
one that caught my attention was the spider lady. I still don't know her name.
Elise?
But
Elise.
That's Elise.
I was like, fuck. Okay, shit. I might have to think about this.
Is it
now.
sad that the only one I can think of is Ari?
Zyra's up there.
That's a new one. I don't know her.
Zyra's not new. She's been out since I started playing.
New since I stopped many years ago.
When did you stop? Because I've been playing since 2012.
Maybe I'm just not. Maybe I just forgot.
She's like, she looks like Poison Ivy.
How do you spell that?
Zyra.
I love Poison Ivy, so they were trying to get me with her too.
Okay, I remember her. Okay.
You might be thinking Zaya, who is a bird lady.
That's what I thought
She
you said.
is who I modeled my hair after.
Nice.
She's great.
Lux is cute.
Lux is cute. She's not sexy.
I mean,
She's
I don't know.
meant to be like innocent and cute. Her backstory is not.
League's good, man, but
Evelyn
it's also
is supposed
not
to be
good.
super sexy. She's a succubus. She's hot.
Yeah, they sent me lots of
She's
pictures of her
naked
too.
almost constantly.
Yeah, they
Oh
sent
my
me tons
God.
of pictures of her too, and I was like, leave me alone.
Stop.
League's good, but it's also not. I had like some rough time in the last few weeks like with like mental health, and I figured that League honestly would be a good idea because League is the one game that I remember whenever I play for like that match for like 30 to 45 minutes, it takes up like all of my fucking mental capacity. Like I am thinking about that and only that for that amount of time. Like you have to be focused on like every little inch and like every second of that. So I was like, that's a great game to download for like a distraction, you know? So it's good for that. If you want to get your mind off shit, play League.
So my addiction to League of Legends aside, I also played about 10 minutes of I Love You, Colonel Sanders. I do every time I say his name in the podcast, I can't say Colonel Sanders. I say Colonel Sandals. That's his new name now. He wears nothing but flip-flops.
I don't think we see his feet in the game, so
Well,
he
hard to
could.
say. Listen, if it's a true dating sim, there's going to be a beach scene. And if there's a true beach scene, you're going to see him in a swimsuit.
see those feet.
And his feet,
yeah,
yeah.
you're gonna see his feet. It's true.
Get excited.
Does Colonel Sanders have feet? We'll find out.
I would hope so.
Why is that the question?
I mean, maybe he doesn't have
Because we
feet.
don't know.
I believe Darian is now looking up if Colonel Sanders has feet.
I'm sure the real Colonel Sanders has feet.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure this
He
game
could have
is
lost
not.
them in the war.
Yeah.
It's true.
Is there
The
a
infamous
war in
war.
this
You know?
game?
No.
He's he's a colonel.
Yeah.
Shit.
I think that's just... Oh my.
You're not wrong.
I mean, you can be a colonel without being a war. There, you could join the military and just have
Yeah,
dirt
I'm
peace.
just saying
Disagree.
the dude is old enough that he's probably around for wars.
That's true.
I'm not sure how old Colonel Sanders is supposed to be because I've seen him in that game and it's like you ain't.
He does look old.
Colonel time.
I mean, he's still got like the white hair and shit. So
Yeah, but
I
he
assume that
probably
he's
dyes
not like
it.
a young man.
Did you know that you can get white hair? That's one of the offset or one of the side effects from chemo.
I did not
Like
know
sometimes you lose your hair, sometimes it just takes all of the color out of your hair.
Greg has like a white spot on the back of his hair from chemo. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's also a disorder, I guess, that causes your hair not to create pigment. It can be in on your whole head or just in a section. Most common, there's a disorder that causes a white spot on the front of your head, like where your bangs go, and your skin, and it can cause discoloration in other parts of your bodies, and it's also associated with like deafness.
The more you know.
This disorder. I don't know what it's called, but I know that it runs in my family and that everybody who has the white patch isn't deaf, but they could become deaf.
Oh.
Yeah.
The more you know. Shit.
Yeah. That's a weird tangent. I love you, Colonel Sanders. Seems really cute and super weird. And I'm excited to see if I can win his heart.
And his feet.
You gotta both win his heart and his respect. Because
I don't need his respect.
Because I know
I'm here for one thing, and you know sometimes there's not respect in it.
Yeah, because I know.
Yeah, I don't need respect to fuck.
Thank you. See, I wasn't gonna say it because I said it last podcast where I just wanted to fuck Colonel Sanders, and that was the highlight. So I felt like I didn't need to reiterate, but.
Yeah, I know there's an ending where Colonel Sanders will be like, yeah, I'll totally marry you, but you're not allowed to touch my chicken. I do not trust you in the kitchen. So, yeah. Okay, Tay Chinaris. I know you've been playing at least one game while we got ready for this podcast.
Games, but not a lot of games. I've been super like chill. Like I got a lot going on in life, so it's just like, oh, whatever, I have a chance for like a couple minutes to like chill and relax. I played I've been back on my Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bullshit. I am up to 90 hours in that game, and I almost I want to get 100 by the end of by the next show. I'll be up to 100 hours. Unless I just stop playing it, that also could totally happen. But I also discovered that on like the online, on the worldwide, like when you just go into online, there's like a ranking system. So like as you get in the top 6, your like score goes up, and if you get first, your score goes up even higher. If you get like in the bottom 6, then it goes down. And I was like, ooh, an arbitrary like bullshit ranking system for this game that I shouldn't care about. I'm gonna grind this out. So now I want to get to like 2000. So I'm just gonna like play ranked Mario Kart 8, which is the stupidest thing because it's like the least competitive thing you could think about. They literally give people in last place items so that they can catch up. Like, but it's what I'm doing. I played a little bit of Cube World, which is a game that I have been waiting to come out literally since high school. Like, I've been waiting for this game to come out for 6 years. Is when I played the alpha 6 years ago. And then it's such a weird case with Cube World because, like, the dude made it and everybody was, like, super interested in it. He released an alpha. And then, like, over the course of the next few years, like, he just disappeared after the alpha. And then, like, once a year, he'd post something on Twitter and be like, I added a pet. Or, like, I changed the map. And we're like, oh, he's still alive. He's still working. And then gone for, like, another year. And he'd be like, I did this one small thing. And we're like, is this game going to be out in 30 years? But then, like, a few weeks ago, it was like, he's just, like, at the end of October, at the end of September, the game will be fully launched on Steam. And it was just like, oh shit, okay. And he gave all the alpha players get like the full game. So I had to remember my login from like 6 years ago. After I bought it because I didn't realize that, and then I had to get the Steam refund and put in my code. It was the whole thing, but it's so fun. That game is very fun and very cute and adorable, and like it's super relaxing. It's just a lot about like exploring, and there's a bunch of like pets around the world that you can get, but you can only get the pets if you have like a certain item. So I have a waffle, which means I can tame a terrier. But I haven't found one. I found a Scottish Terrier, but you can't tame Scottish Terriers with waffles. You have to get something else for them. So I have to find a terrier, and then I'll have a pet, and then eventually you can rank the pet up enough to ride them, so you can like ride around. I don't feel like that's not good for terriers. They're really tiny, but
yeah,
it's a thing.
They're very small dogs.
Yeah, I don't know why it's like a universal. You can ride all of these because some of them are really tiny. But yeah, it's super simple. You can be like a warrior, a mage, a rogue, and something else. But I'm a warrior. And yeah, it's really fun. I played a little bit of that last night. Destiny, I'll just throw out, I played one game of League after re-downloading it and whatnot, but I actually do want to play more. And then Destiny, the newest expansion for Destiny 2, Shadowkeep, came out, and I mentioned on Twitter a little bit ago about how I've only played like a couple hours of it, and JJ, one of the dudes I've played a bunch of Destiny with, was like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. And I'm like, dude, it's sad, because like this is the first Destiny expansion or like first Destiny release in the history of the game that I've played this little of. Like normally, like for Rise of Iron, the third expansion for Destiny 1, I took off work and I took off school and I did a fucking 18-hour stream. Like it's a very different place that I'm at in life where I've only played like a couple hours. But so far it's really cool. The first mission, they're like continuing big story stuff, which they usually don't do in expansions. Also, when they launched Shadowkeep, they also launched the move from Battle.net to Steam, and also launched the free-to-play version all at the same time on the same day. So the servers were down for most of that day. And it was pretty expected. I figured it was going to be down. But yeah, so far it's really good, but I want to play more. Bryce was curious about how the move from Battle.net to Steam works.
And also, it's Destiny is not on Battle.net anymore at all.
No, they removed it.
And also, what is included in the free-to-play version?
See, that I am not 100% versed on, but I know the general basics of that. So, like, the move to Steam was really simple. Like, you just go on Bungie.net and you link your Steam. Like, you sign in with your Battle.net, then you link your Steam, and then it's like, okay, you're good to go for the move on October 1st or whatever. And then I preloaded the Steam version, and then the day it came out, I just launched it, and it signed into my normal character, and I was good to go. Then the free-to-play version, it's called Destiny 2 New Light. You can download on Steam now, which is crazy. The reason why the servers were down was they said that they hit their highest player count like by far. There was like a certain million amount of players. And the Destiny 2 New Light version on Steam is like everybody starts at 750 light, which is like the gear score that like gets you started. You can play like Crucible, which is like PvP, Gambit, which is like a PvE PvP like mix kind of mode. Strikes, like I think you can just load into the Strike playlist, which is like 3 people, a PvE like big dungeon kind of thing if you play MMOs. What else? You can go to all of the destinations. So like Earth, the new one, the moon, you can like go to the moon. You can't do all of the story stuff because that's like you have to have the expansion for Shadowkeep to do all of that. But you can go to the moon and like explore and do some of the open world stuff.
Okay, but like, so does it have the base story? Does it have all the old?
So it has the year 1 stuff. So, like, it has the launch of the game and Curse of Osiris and Warmind, so, like, the first 2 small little DLCs. And I think they bundled Forsaken and, like, all of the annual pass stuff together, so it's a lot cheaper now. Like, if you want to get caught up, you can buy that and it's a lot cheaper. But I'm pretty sure the New Light just has the year 1 stuff.
Okay.
Which gets you started. I'm not 100%. I'm gonna look this up on Steam.
Yeah, because if you bought Forsaken on Battle.net,
You have it.
On Steam?
You have it.
Okay.
You have it. You have everything you had on Battle.net on Steam. You have it just transferred over your characters, your purchases, everything.
Okay, good.
Even your video settings. Like I logged in and all of my video and audio and controller settings were the same.
That's good.
Like it kept it. But yeah, it is pretty nice that you have all the destinations and stuff like that, but that's pretty much it. It gets you started. You can play through the original story. But you don't have like the Forsaken stuff and the Shadowkeep stuff. For sure the Shadowkeep stuff, because that is new.
Yeah.
That came out this last week.
That is cool that they've opened it up. I mean, everybody you can just go like, hey, let's play Destiny, and they'll be like, I don't own Destiny.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can play Destiny.
You can play it at least a bit for sure. Like, okay, so if you open up Destiny 2 on Steam, you can buy Forsaken and you can buy Shadowkeep. So yeah, I guess it's just the year 1 stuff. But Forsaken now is $25, which is definitely, I think it launched at 40. So yeah, that's good.
And this is across all systems, though. They're like it's free to play, the same conditions on PlayStation and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, your expansions don't carry, though. Like, if I wanted to play cross save on PS4, I would have to rebuy Shadowkeep, because I already bought Forsaken, but I'd have to rebuy Shadowkeep.
Okay.
Which sucks, but it makes sense because PlayStation doesn't get a cut if you bought it on Steam. So like they want their cut of your money. But yeah, I played a little bit of that. Oh, I was also gonna say the raid launched on Friday, and I got to watch a little bit of the raid race, and it looks awesome. I'm very jealous of everybody who got to play. So let's see. It took 6 hours. Let me check here. It took 6 hours and like 33 minutes or something like that. Yeah. No, 6 hours and 13 minutes, which is a relatively fast raid. And the clan Ascend got first place. Glad's team, who's one of the biggest streamers, got like fourth place, and they like continually get fourth place. So rest in peace for them. I don't know where Dado got. Dado's like one of the biggest Destiny content creators, and he got like second place last time, literally by like 2 minutes. Which is upsetting because he's been trying to get first place since the game launched 5 years ago. But he'll get one eventually. But I don't know where he landed. But yeah, Ascend got it in 6 hours. It's a Vex themed raid in the Black Garden, and it is gorgeous. And I hope I get to play it sometime soon.
All right. Okay, that brings it to me. Mario Kart came to phones. Mario Kart Tour. And it's not great to play. Like, you are playing with your fingers, and they've got two modes for steering. They've got like a simplified mode, which I didn't try at all, and they've got a mode that allows you to do drifting.
But only drifting.
Yeah. Anytime you turn, you're drifting, and it's like, that's a bit much. Though I will say that you can just turn if you have the tilt controls on, so you can tilt your phone and then you'll just go in that direction.
Oh, really?
And then if you use your fingers, then you'll drift. But I don't love tilt controls ever. I never want to tilt my controller to play it.
I agree.
So I just do the drifting. It's not that fun. It's not a great Mario Kart experience. It's a free Mario Kart experience. It's very much encouraging you to give them money, because it's all about collecting. It's each course you're doing has like a point of value of like, hey, to get 5 stars on this course, you need to get this many points. And you can get points from just like what character and what vehicle you're using. And like different characters and vehicles will have bonuses for the course. Like there's a Toad course, and if you're playing as Toad, you will get more items per box. You will get 3 items instead of 1 per box, and that is a clear advantage. And so if you have Toad unlocked, then you have an advantage over people who don't have Toad unlocked, and so it encourages you to give them money to unlock, to shoot off the loot box, to get more characters, to get more points, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's
yikes.
It's a cycle that's just gonna encourage you to spend more and more and more for a lackluster Mario Kart game. I don't know, if you were like, hey, I want to play Mario Kart, but not on the Switch and not as fun, that's there. It's available.
Okay, so real talk, when they announced this game that Mario Kart was gonna come to mobile, I was genuinely excited, because I feel out of most of Nintendo's IP, you could totally do a Mario Kart on the phone. Like, I feel like you could totally do this, like, and it would be fine, and it would be fun. But it's not, and it's really upsetting. As you guys know, I mentioned earlier, I really love Mario Kart, so I was really pumped. I thought this would be a good time, but it's not.
Well,
bummer.
That's the internet. Okay.
That's life. That's what that is.
The new season of Apex Legends has started, so I decided to hop on. I will say the little like cutscene thing that starts the deal is very, very cool. It's got the new character whose name is Crypto, I believe. Just being like a real dick to God, the guy who can like make clones of himself.
Mirage.
Yeah, being a real dick to Mirage, and it's pretty good. And it's a new map. I think I have not played since launch. I got one win at launch, and I'm like, I'm going out on top. I'm done. No more Apex Legends for me. And then I was like, okay, let me see how the game's changed. And yeah, things. Well, I'm pretty sure it's a new map because in the cutscene they're like, "Oh, we're going somewhere new." So I'm pretty sure it's a new map.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and it has a lot of variety to it, like way more than the old map. I haven't played too much, but like it's Apex, and I love that they're got a new map. Like that is the thing with these competitive games, is that after like a month of a game being out, the people who play it a lot can just steamroll over new players because they know where everything is and they know exactly where to go, what to do. And so to make these games possible for new players to get in, the developers need to change things up often enough so that longtime players don't have a clear advantage. And putting you in a brand new map is the best way to do that. No one knows where anything is right now. So
it's also so that longtime players don't get bored.
That too, definitely. It's an advantage overall. Like it keeps longtime players invested. It gives new players a chance to jump in. And so if you were like, oh, Apex Legends, I should check that out, this is the time to do it. It still feels like Apex, and that's a dope thing.
I should re-download that.
Yeah, I'm bad at it. Other people are much like I hopped in and everybody had like really cool icons and like real big numbers, and I was like 5 matches, and I'm sure the other people are like, what the frick is this person doing here?
How did I get matched with this person?
Yeah, but that's video games for you. Speaking of video games, we got some news for you involving video games, including...
Wow.
Yeah, it's a video game news show. Surprise.
Who would have guessed?
Pokemon Go has been teasing mysterious new Team Rocket villains. Obviously, we know that Team Rocket has been added into Pokemon Go through them taking over Pokestops and such. But the Pokemon Go Twitter account has posted pictures of 3 Team Rocket members that seem to be more major characters than, the grunts that we've been encountering. We also got the image of the new start screen, which shows off a lot of big characters. A lot of big Pokemon, Charizard, other Pokemon, not Growlithe, Arcanine. I'm trying to think of how many of these Pokemon can I name. A lot of big Pokemon who have been taken over by Team Rocket being shown, and then there's the player facing down these 3 new Team Rocket characters, which could be some sort of boss deals. And then, what's his name? The boss of Team Rocket.
Giovanni.
Yeah, Giovanni's standing in the middle, facing you down. And I was looking at these, all we have is these images of the characters, but I was looking at them and I noticed that each of them have colors to match the team colors. There's somebody who has blue on their uniform, someone who's got red, and someone who's got yellow. So I was like, are these going to be counters to the, each team. And a small part of me, I don't think this would be the possibility, but it would be hella interesting if they allowed players to join their, like, Team Rocket Blue or Team Rocket Red.
To be bad people?
Yeah.
Yo, sign me up!
I feel like that would be really cool, but so many people would switch to Team Rocket. It would be insane.
That's cool!
But it'll be definitely interesting to see what happens with this. I feel like by the end of October, we'll probably have an idea of where this is going. I would like to see it turn into some sort of raid thing, because I do. Team Rocket battles are such, like, I mean, they're trainer battles straight up, but it would be cool to have a way to, like, co-op them with your friends. So when you're doing a Team Rocket thing, it's not like, okay, I gotta do it. Like, let's individually sit here and play together, but separately. So it'd be cool if they kind of expand that. But not every Nintendo RPG maker has been doing well. Mario Maker RPG Studio has seen some bad times. Darian, do you want to tell me about that?
Yep, the studio is called Alpha Dream. They have submitted paperwork to file for bankruptcy on Tuesday. Basically, they said that the studio was crippled by high development costs and sluggish sale performances for the works that Alpha Dream has completed. They are roughly 4.3 million US dollars in debt, 465 million yen, as of March 2018. Damn. So that's probably more now.
Yeah.
If they're filing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
They worked on, like, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and their latest work was Mario and Luigi Paper Jam on the Nintendo 3DS.
I have heard that these Mario and Luigi RPGs are very good, and I recently got a 3DS, so I think I saw it in stores and I was like, oh, maybe. But yeah, it sucks that we won't see more of these, because every one of these games, Bowser's Inside Story and all these things, I've heard are good. Like, people like them. I think they've been making just, like, handheld games, and handhelds have not been, doing well lately. Well,
I don't know if that's fair. The 3DS did really well.
Yeah, but...
And the Switch is doing great.
I mean, the Switch, there's the whole argument, Switch, is it a handheld or not? And obviously the Switch Lite, yes, it's straight up a handheld, but it's also confusing too, because if the Switch Lite is a handheld, it plays the same games as a normal Switch. There's people who are like, I have never undocked my Switch, so...
That, I feel like that is the rarity. Most people I know say that they never dock their Switch and they just play
I literally, like, I'm so tempted to buy a Switch Lite because I never dock my Switch, but...
And I've heard that so much.
I can't justify
I've heard don't get a Switch Lite yet.
Why?
They have Joy-Con drift still.
Yeah. They've been added to the lawsuit of Joy-Con drift. And what sucks so much about that is you can't switch out your Joy-Cons. If you
you can't get a new one, or you can't send those in. It would be the whole system.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So rip on that. But
yeah, I mean, this news is sad. This is one of those where it's like, you totally think that, like, the studio who makes Mario and Luigi, the RPG games that have been around for a long time, like, totally figured Nintendo would own them, but they don't. Not at all. It's like one of those things where, like, when I learned a while ago that, like, Nintendo doesn't own Game Freak, and, like, they don't own the studio that makes Pokemon, one of, like, Nintendo's most successful franchises. It's crazy. But yeah, I've heard these games are really good, it's sad. But
I wonder how many, like, developers Nintendo owns, because I know that's the thing that, like, PlayStation and Xbox own a lot of studios, but I don't even know, like, how many studios Nintendo owns, because I can't think of a single one that is like, that is Nintendo studio. Obviously, there's
if they do, they just call it, like, this is a Nintendo game, right? Like
Yeah.
Mario Odyssey was developed by Nintendo. They don't have it like different separated studios kind of thing.
Yeah,
they
maybe-
do, but they don't call them that.
Maybe that's the case, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like Game Freak, yeah, you very much just like that's the Nintendo deal, but yeah, I mean they're coming out with a non-Pokemon game that I believe is coming to everywhere.
Yo, I'm so excited for that game.
I don't know. That game looks odd, and I'll have to see how people feel about it to
It's developed
this-
by Game Freak, and the entire music is composed by Toby Fox. Like, I'm down. I'm all
Toby
about
Fox is great.
Well, maybe you will be streaming that game when you play it because Teddy streams a lot, and
it. Streamed twice in the last 2 weeks.
well, you've got
Yikes.
you've got a busy lifestyle. How's your internship going, Teddy?
It's really cool so far, in all honesty. I'm
Nice.
enjoying it. Yeah, it's cool. It's at the Tennessee Performing Arts Center. It's a video production internship, and they have me like editing different projects and whatnot. It's cool.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
But some streamers, which most of us are, Caitlin has a streaming channel, but isn't. I don't know how. What if you would consider yourself a streamer?
I mean, I wouldn't. Uppercut is like affiliated, which that's cool, but yeah, I don't know. My own personal Twitch. I haven't streamed on my personal Twitch in like 2 years, so.
But the if you are not a streamer, you might not know that Streamlabs is the website and service that many streamers. It's probably the most popular service that streamers will use to show notifications, take donations. They've expanded in the last few years that people are using their version of OBS to stream off of. They've got merch stores. They are trying to be like the one-stop shop for streamers. And now Logitech has purchased Streamlabs for $89 million. And yeah, I mean, streamers definitely know the name Logitech because I'm sure most of people's webcams are made by Logitech. Like, does everyone's webcam here Logitech?
Yes.
No.
No.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
Darian is definitely lying. I don't know about Caitlin, but Darian is 100% lying. She told us earlier that it's a Logitech C922.
Yeah.
It is.
Mine is whatever is built into my laptop. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I do know that your microphone is made by Logitech because they make the blue microphones, like the Blue Yeti. And
yeah, I have I use a Blue Yeti micro for my mic though. So
yeah, so a lot of equipment that streamers use are made by Logitech. Keyboards, mice, mics, webcams, and blue microphones. So I'm not sure what this will mean for Streamlabs or for streamers who use Streamlabs and Logitech hardware purchasers, but it'll mean something. I'm sure like it could involve more integration. Maybe when you plug in a Blue Yeti microphone to OBS or Streamlabs OBS, it'll be able to tune it specifically. I couldn't even begin to think of what this could mean or why Logitech would want them, but it's happened and here we are.
I mean, Corsair, I believe, bought Elgato a while back, and there really hasn't been much change with that.
Yeah.
So it's just, I guess it's just consolidating like similar kind of market.
Well, I mean, Corsair makes hardware. Elgato is hardware. So
Yeah.
it's just adding another hardware product to your lineup. But Logitech is hardware. Streamlabs is a service. It's not really software. It's in the cloud. It's it's a lot like it'll handle money for streamers and stuff. So it's not they're branching off into a different kind of product that is adjacent to them. They're very much deal with this is two things that streamers are working with, but it's a different kind of product. So
Yeah.
But well, it could mean nothing. They could just go, "Hey, Streamlabs, keep doing what you're doing."
Yeah, make us money.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing, but some of that goes to us now.
But maybe some of the streamers who use Streamlabs will also be playing a new RPG that just became available. It's a little game called Feast of Legends. How's that strike you, Teddy Generis?
I saw it and immediately was like, what, is this like a League of Legends event? Or like what? But no.
It is not a League of Legends event, Teddy. It is Wendy's new tabletop RPG. They have released a full rule book to play a D20 based RPG.
Is it like Wendy's themed? Like they pick up a Frosty?
No, yeah, so all of the character classes are based around their foods. They have the order of the beef, the order of the chicken, the order of the sides, and within each of those things, like, you'll be selecting like the Baconator character and such. Then you'll have those moves based on each of those moves.
I kind of hate it, but also like mad respect.
If the full rule book is available to download, you can look through it and play it if you want. And obviously, like, it's the same thing as I Love You, Colonel Sanders, where it's kind of they create a product and then they get free advertising because all these streamers and content creators are going to play it, and people are going to go. Here's the thing, right?
People are going to play a free dating sim a lot more than they're going to sit down and develop a tape. Like a DM is going to sit down and be like, let's make a story based off of this Wendy's tabletop RPG.
I mean, I think
this is the world I want to live in.
Played it though. Like, okay. I think they just did a stream of it the other day when it came out, and I don't know if it was sponsored or not, but
you would think it would be.
If they were smart, they would have. They would have tried to get people to do it.
I don't know if Critical Role would be like, yeah, let me get into this.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I would assume so, but I can't speak to that. I just know I saw a bunch of people tweeting about it. But yeah, so I think Wendy's knows the appeal is out there, which is cynical perhaps, but it is what it is.
I love there's a page where they've got buffs and debuffs based on what you're eating in real life. So they're like, you will do better if you eat actual Wendy's foods. So if you eat any cheeseburger item from Wendy's, you will get an additional +1 to your strength. If you eat any chicken item from Wendy's, you will get a +1 to arcane. And then for, so this goes for every item on Wendy's, it'll buff different stats. And then there's debuffs. So if you go to a frozen burger joint, you'll suffer +1 ice damage to all attacks for the day. Or if you eat pizza, you will add a -2 modifier to all your charm rolls.
Dude, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I would totally love to like sit down with a group of friends, develop like a one-shot for like the afternoon, and just let's all go get Wendy's, come back, play this fucking... Yeah. Like, that sounds great. I'm not gonna lie.
I think that's what they want you to do.
Yeah. That's I'm down with it. I've flipped.
I believe there is a one-shot included, because I'm looking at the news story from Ars Technica, and there is a map of the Ice Jester's Playhouse, 2nd floor, which looks like a, playroom. And yeah, so it looks like they include everything for you to go through and play a simple RPG in a day and eat Wendy's while you do it. And probably...
Okay, that's smart as shit.
Probably a lot of... there is a lot of D&D content creators that exist and streamers and stuff who are gonna be like, oh, this is cute, let's play it, and that's free advertising for Wendy's.
Yep.
Yeah, so
that's smart.
Yeah.
That's very smart.
So if you want to check that out, search Wendy's Feast of Legends or Wendy's RPG, and I'm sure you'll find it. It's really well made. The art in it is really well made, so I will say that much about it. I don't know if it's fun, but it exists. But sometimes all the news we don't talk about is fun. Sometimes Teddy has to tell us about the PlayStation Worldwide Studios boss departing.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so this is super weird. But so Shawn Layden, I believe the Worldwide Studios head of Sony Interactive Entertainment, SIE. So pretty much, I think just under Jim Ryan, the head of PlayStation, basically. There was a tweet from the official PlayStation account that said, "It is with great emotion that we announce that Worldwide Studios chairman Shawn Layden will be departing SIE. His visionary leadership will be greatly missed. We wish him success in future endeavors and are deeply grateful for his years of service. Thanks for everything, Shawn." And that's it. There was no press release. Nobody announced who was succeeding him. Usually that's what happens. Usually people are when a big head of Xbox or PlayStation or something leaves, then they're this person's taking their place, right? They did that immediately with Reggie. You know what I mean? That's a normal thing. It is very abnormal to just in a tweet be yeah, they're leaving. And he's been there for 30 years or something. And just be oh, he's leaving. Yeah, he's gone. It's very oddly casual. That was the PlayStation account, and then he hadn't tweeted anything for at least a while, so I'm gonna check his Twitter and see if he's said anything about this at all. No. He said nothing. He just retweeted the last couple of things. He retweeted, a Japanese game. I can't, because that's all in Japanese. He retweeted the thing about The Last of Us, talking about the hyping up the release date and whatnot, or hyping up the state of play, and that's it. The last thing he retweeted was on October 3rd, and this happened. When was this? Well, this was September 30th. So he's talked since then on Twitter, but he hasn't talked about this. It's really weird. But hopefully PlayStation's okay. It's a little worrisome, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, people are speculating, did he go to a different company, or is there something, did he get kicked out for some reason? Yeah.
Yeah, who knows, man? I don't know if we will know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, with something like that, unless something breaks, that going unless he shows up at an Xbox tomorrow and be hello, I'm here now, then people will be oh, that's why. But
yeah,
I guess we'll see what happens.
If it's something that's not him joining another big company, then we won't.
Yeah, probably won't know.
Unless Jason Schreier gets on it.
No. But a new character has been shown to be joining the Square Enix Marvel's Avengers game, and it looks good now. This character has made the Marvel's Avenger game good.
God, I don't know about that. But the sixth playable hero is how do you say her name? Kamala Khan or Kamala Khan?
Kamala Khan.
Miss Marvel. She is the sixth playable hero, and they released a trailer with it, and the trailer looks really cool and really fun. I'm super into this. I didn't get to watch the whole thing with sound. I watched it at work.
Oh yeah, you need to watch it with sound because the character.
But it looks cool.
Yeah, the character basically adds an element of the other characters we've seen are just somber and oh, everything sucks, and Kamala is smart and she's funny and she's interesting, and she is balancing out these other characters in a way that's making this story look interesting. And yeah, Miss Marvel is just a dope character in general, so having her in the mix is definitely gonna be cool. I'm still not 100% sure what this game is. Because like, are we gonna be able to pick characters for each deal? Is it gonna be because the whole unlockable characters thing, like DLC characters, is so odd. But right now, that trailer makes me go like, I want to see what this story is because Kamala's role in it seems really cool. Her banter between her and Bruce Banner, like there's a scene with her in the car, and I'm like, this is awesome. I just want like, don't even. I only want Kamala Khan. They just need to make a Miss Marvel game. I don't need any other Avengers. Like the other Avengers can be there. They can be there, but it's Kamala Khan. This is the focus on the game. Let's do this.
So in this article by Alyssa Mercanti on Games Radar, who's this quote from Amos? Let's see. Yeah, so Crystal Dynamics head of studio Scott Amos, he said, if you've paid attention, Kamala's been there since the beginning. If you carefully watched our campaigns from January 2017, that's her narrating. That's her voice. Literally the first voice you hear, people are like, who's this talking? And then if you look at every piece we've done since then, it's about her. It's actually her telling you the story.
Okay,
so
good.
She's a main focus.
Good. Yeah,
which is
she needs
very
to be.
Cool. But yeah, I'm still excited about this game. I'm worried just from things that I've seen, but honestly, I'm not that worried.
It hasn't previewed well.
No, it hasn't. But honestly, like when I really think about it, it's like I'm not super worried because like at the end of the day, it's gonna be Avengers, and I love the Avengers, and it's fucking Crystal Dynamics, and I've loved what Crystal Dynamics has done recently, and like then they're also talking about it kind of being Destiny-like, and I'm like, all right, well, fine, you got me. It's weird. I don't necessarily know why they would do that for an Avengers type of thing. Like that is weird, and I don't really see how that fits. But, like, if my past track record has shown anything, I'll probably like it. I mean, this is a fucking Destiny shirt right now. So, like, you'll probably get me.
Somebody says MMO elements, and Teddy's just like, what? Where?
I can lose my life to this, but I don't have time for it? Sure, dude. Have my
Sign
money.
me up. I'll take 2.
Let me download this and have it take up 100 gigs on my computer and then never play it.
Yeah. But we got another trailer recently from the PlayStation State of Play.
Oh shit.
And our guest Caitlin had some opinions on it, and that's why she's I mean, we respect her opinion on all stuff, and that's why she's here to talk about all the news, but we specifically wanted to hear what she has to say about the Last of Us 2 trailer. So can you walk us through the trailer and then tell us what you thought of it?
Yeah, so they dropped this trailer. It's, I think, the 4th trailer they've dropped since they announced the game. I don't know if the announcement trailer, like, really counts because it was, like, 2 seconds long. But
yeah. And the only other thing they've shown was, like, a long, like, the demo.
Yeah, so it's basically, it's, like, it shows a little bit of Ellie and the girl Dina from the E3 trailer from last year. Who in that trailer they kiss, and then this trailer they immediately mention the kiss, so I guess it happens like right after what we saw at E3 last year.
I would assume it would be like the next day or something, because that'd be weird of like, hey,
I think she says like, what did you think of the kiss from last night or something. So it's like I think it's like the next day.
Also, like, from what I've heard of people from, so they did the trailer on the State of Play, and then they had people in LA, like, do a big preview event, so a lot of people got to play it. And from what I've heard from that, it seems like a lot of what they played was, like, basically pretty much right after the kiss kind of thing, and it was also kind of what you see in the trailers, so yeah, it's pretty much right after, it seems.
Yeah, so there's that, and then it's just, like, kind of footage of the environment a little bit, and then the basic like TLDR of the trailer is someone like Ellie gets separated from someone, we don't know who.
Yeah, she's out exploring. Well, I guess they sent a bunch of people out exploring.
Yeah, and so like we know that Dina goes missing because she says something about it, and then you get a shot of her going into a house and down like a creepy Resident Evil looking ass staircase, and there's a bunch of blood like smeared underneath the door, and then she goes in and is grabbed by a dude, and you hear a gunshot and Ellie yells. We don't know who gets shot, but it's kind of implied that it was Dina.
Yeah.
And then it's Ellie basically going into rage mode, being like, fuck these people, I'm gonna murder them, whatever. And then right at the end, Joel shows up and is like, I'm not gonna let you do this alone. And then he looks old as hell and is alive.
Looks real old.
And he's alive. Which I know a lot of people were unsure of whether or not he was going to be alive or a ghost, but he's alive
I'm
for this?
still not sure. Because they totally could be doing the Arkham Knight thing with Joker, where, like, she's, like, thinking that she's seeing him.
Yeah,
but I hope
don't
they
really
don't do
buy that. But
yeah, I hope they don't do that, too, because that seems kind of obvious. And
I mean, I don't know that I hope that they don't do it, but I don't think that's what they're doing just from the trailer. It didn't, like, I also just, like, I don't know, like they don't seem to, like, trade in, like, dream sequences or shit like that very much.
Yeah. Also, from the preview event, what was it? It was the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Greg was talking about what he played, and he mentioned a quote when Ellie said something along the lines of, like, oh, yeah, me and Joel, we're gonna go do this thing. So I'm like, okay, it seems like he's around. Like, he's there.
It seems like he's like, physically there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the trailer.
She just keeps talking about Joel, and everybody's just like, who's
Who's
Joel?
that? He's
Yeah.
the Godfrey's.
Joel, like, the name of a gun?
Yeah, they did also drop a release date for it.
Yes.
So it's coming out February 21st of next year.
Which is
soonish.
I'm very glad. Very soon, yeah.
Perfect Valentine's post Valentine's Day game.
Really just celebrate love. Oh yeah, so Neil Druckmann always has been saying that like the first game was about love and this one's about hate. So it's good. You get your time on February 14th and then then you can go into hate.
So I think I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I feel like your problem with this game is that it kind of follows the trend that a lot of media does with LGBT characters. It's literally has a name to it that's called bury your gays, where they won't let gay characters be gay couple both be alive.
Yeah. So the thing with this, right, is this trailer came out and there was immediately a lot of conversation about it because of that exact thing. And that trope tends to get applied to queer women a lot, like more disproportionately. Like if you have media with queer people, like it's generally going to be sad. That's kind of a thing that you come to expect, but like it gets applied to queer women disproportionately more. And the thing, the sticking point that a lot of people had was, oh, well, it's a dystopia, it's an apocalypse, like people should be allowed to die. And it's like, okay, well, the argument isn't that people shouldn't be allowed to die just because they're queer. The argument is that in The Last of Us especially, there are 4 canon queer characters, and I said this wrong, I talked about this on Plus One Player, and I was wrong after, I had to look it up after to make sure, but I was wrong. Bill doesn't die on screen, but you don't know what happens to him after you leave him. So could be anything. Who could say? Yeah. But Bill's partner and Riley are both dead, and they both are partners of queer characters who are dead, and then it's like how their whole worldview is shaped based on that, basically. And so the whole trope is like, yeah, the idea that like you have to, like that queer people can only suffer, that you can't have relationships that work out and whatever. And so it was frustrating hearing the dialogue of, oh, well, it's an apocalypse, like everybody dies. But it's like, well, no, because like Ellie and Joel are still alive. Like they're part of a community that's still alive. Their enemies are still alive. Like, and we were talking about it on Plus One Player too, of like, just because a setting is dark and gritty, that doesn't mean like death has to be the only trauma. Like, you can express different things without necessarily having to kill every character. Like, that's kind of why shit like Walking Dead and Game of Thrones gets boring eventually, because like once the shock is gone, like death doesn't matter. So it's just it's just hard in that regard. And then two, I think the thing that we were actually talking about, Bryce, that got this conversation started with us was the idea of like, it might not be Dina and they might just be like using it as like a bait and switch kind of thing.
Yeah, misdirect to, you know, be like, hey, you're gonna think this, but that way you can go in not suspecting who it. And I want to take a quick second to be like, hey, if you want to come into the game not having any voices in your head expecting stuff, maybe switch to our next category. There should be on the YouTube video a list of our categories.
They've already heard the whole trailer.
Well, I'm going to say some things that are probably going to give you a clear picture of what I think is going to happen. But yeah, on the YouTube video, there should be a list of the topics. Just click to the next one. Also in the podcast app, we have it where you should be able to click to the next topic if you, depending on which app you're using. I know that on mine, I can swipe over and it'll have a list of all the chapter markers and you can just select the next one.
Mine doesn't do that.
But okay. So yeah, I think it's a misdirect, and the collector's edition of the game has a little deal of like, what would you do if people killed someone you loved, and you know, would you do whatever it takes to get revenge and blah blah blah. And they're very much like someone you love, and obviously I'm not sure if it happens this early, why the frick it would be the girl she kissed once.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
That's my thing, where I'm also like, I don't think that it is her, because like it seems very... Ellie seems real fucking mad.
Yeah.
Like and I don't know if that doesn't seem like it just makes sense proportionally to what we know about the relationship.
Yeah, but it's Joel. Let's all, like, it's Joel that dies in that scene. Because
why would he say that he's not gonna let her do it alone?
Because that probably happens early in the game. Maybe. And he dies in that scene that's somewhere in the middle or something.
That's also too easy. I don't want it to be Joel either, because that's also like,
why would Joel's brother show up and tell Ellie like, hey, you don't know what they're like, I know you want to get revenge. Why would
they're like, because he's like a leader of the like town that they're in, and they know each other really well.
But I feel like this is Joel's brother going, I know you want revenge for my brother because, you know, and we're deal, but you know, these people miss you.
Have to connect.
I'm pretty sure Joel's the one who goes down, and obviously the first teaser that came out, people were going, Joel's dead. Like, obviously we see him, the people are like, it's just a ghost, but Joel's dead. And they probably wanted to misdirect people, go like, no, he's not. He's right here. Look at him. He's right there. But I think he dies in that scene, and they want you to know that Ellie's losing someone she really cares about. And so they're showing this other character of like, look, here's another character that she could be attached to. Look at her. And I don't think that's the case. But you seemed like that, like it being a misdirect wasn't okay.
Yeah, well, and I mean, like I'm not the media police, right? So like they can do whatever they want, obviously. But the thing that makes me uncomfortable about that is like it means that they used a shitty trope to get a reaction and to use as marketing. And like I don't think that's good either. Like I don't think that it's fair to people who like, especially because like when they showed that kiss at E3, like I'm like resident cynical person all the time. So like I wasn't super stoked about that kiss, but it meant a lot to a lot of people. And they chose to use that as marketing, I would assume knowing that it would mean a lot to people. So then to rely on this like shitty trope as like a marketing thing, I feel like is shitty too, because you're making people upset in the moment after you already made them feel really excited. And then either way, it's kind of a lose-lose, because either you're going into this game dreading what's going to happen, not knowing, and being uncomfortable, or you're going to go into it and it's going to be exactly what you expect, which also really sucks. Like, it just feels like a lose-lose for anybody who is invested in that for that reason, and it's just kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I can also get it from their point of view of like, hey, we want to surprise you with this death, and so we need to because if they just were like, somebody died, everybody's already thinking it's Joel.
Yeah, I guess my thing is just like, especially if they're going to do someone who's not either of them, like, I don't know, you're already going to be surprised, right? Because those are the only two characters that we've seen Ellie have any emotional investment in.
Yeah.
And two, I think it just would have been like, that storyline is already really tired, and I don't know that, like, and some people disagree with me, and that's fine, but like, I don't know that like making a revenge story about queer people is any more interesting than like just a normal revenge story, if that's all you're gonna do. Like, if it's just gonna be a like, I'm big mad that you killed someone I love, like,
yeah.
And that's the thing. I don't think that's gonna be it, because it's not.
I mean, it's whatever. Like, I don't know, but like, and there's no way to know until it comes out.
Yeah.
But I just think that, like, there were other, like, that trailer that they showed at Paris Games Week, I think, the one that was, like, super brutal and showed, like, that woman getting strung up from the tree and shit. Like, that was, like, very brutal, and I think that, like, the way they handled it was not great. But, like, I feel like showing more of that faction and stuff would have been far more interesting than, like, reiterating the fact that, like, Ellie's pissed off. Because, like, we know that. They've told us that. They flat out said, like, it's a game about hatred. Like,
oh, yeah.
We get it.
This game is super brutal, because after I watched this trailer, I went back and watched the trailer from last time, and then there was a like gameplay deal that they showed with her kind of fighting with some other humans and stuff, and there was a lot of like brutality to it. Like, there at one point she shot a guy with an arrow, and then when she went to retrieve it, you could see it like ripping out of the guy, and it was like, this feels like brutal every aspect. Like, there's points where there was a guy who like gave up, and she just like chopped his head, like went macheted him.
And I'm not necessarily saying that I wanted to see more of like that aspect of it, but I'm saying I feel like they've established that enough that we didn't need to see the fact that she's pissed that someone died, because like we know, like we've been new, and I think it would have been a lot more interesting to show like more of who the antagonists are, which I guess like if they're trying to keep that under wraps, I guess I get it, but I think I would be a lot more compelled by the story if I saw like more of those like clearly very scary bad guys versus like, oh look, Ellie's pissed off and is going on a killing spree. Like, that's not a big selling point to me.
I think there's a lot of mystery around the game right now, and people like, I remember when it first came out, people were like, is she like going after the Fireflies? Like, did the Fireflies come for revenge after what happened in the first game, or what? So they want stuff to be vague and maybe a misdirect that plays into a much disliked trope. Maybe wasn't the way to go, and maybe that wasn't there. Maybe the marketing team made some bad decisions, and the game team didn't do it intentionally.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, I don't know how much control that team has over their like what they show in trailers and stuff. But two, the other thing that I think is super important to consider with this is like who is telling the story.
Yeah.
And like, again, like I said this on Plus One Player, I don't know what the writers' room at Naughty Dog looks like as far as like what identities are represented or whatever. Like, again, since I'm cynical and also just like based on statistics, I'm gonna bet it's not a super queer writers' room, but like I could be wrong, and I definitely would be stoked to hear reporting on that. But it's just one of those things where like, yeah, like I'm just kind of mistrustful of the way like big AAA games handle queerness, and especially queer women, because they tend to not do it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into how they can do it well in the future, how game companies can do it well, but I want to take a quick second to thank our Patreon producers. Hey, Aaron C. and Andrew Feisner. You went to patreon.com/lastgeek and decided to become a Patreon producer of this podcast. Thank you for doing that and allowing us to make this content and give a chance for voices like Caitlin to weigh in on, these issues and have these kind of discussions that maybe, other podcasts aren't quite talking about. And maybe they are. I don't listen to everyone. There's probably a lot of them that probably say these exact words. But we're taking our shot. We're doing it, and we appreciate you supporting that. So once again, thank you to Aaron C. and Andrew Feisner, and to anyone else who would like to help make this show possible. Patreon.com/lastgeek. This brings us to the topic of the show, which I just teased. And this is, directed at Caitlin, and, anybody who has something to say can chime in. How can game companies better serve the LGBT plus community?
I mean, I can't speak for everybody, right? So, like, what I think will help might not necessarily be what everybody thinks would help, but I think it's pretty well agreed upon kind of universally that there need to be more people in the room. There need to be more queer people in the room. And that's not just the writer's room either. Like, there need to be more queer folks, like, doing the dev work, because, like, a lot of dev work interacts with each other. Like, I was reading a Gama Sutra article about like how Control was designed, and there's a lot of interplay between different parts of how games are designed. So, like, there need to be queer people throughout, and there need to be not just white queer people. There need to be like people of color, like queer folks in there as well. Like, it just needs to be like, you need to like broaden things out. And then too, like, when people are criticizing you for shit that you're doing in your game, like, listen to them. Like, we've already kind of had that with The Last of Us, where like people asked about the trope after Dina was revealed, and they were just kind of like, we're gonna tell the story that we're gonna tell. And it was like, that's not a helpful answer.
I mean, to be fair, they can't tell you that answer because that would, ruin the story. So,
well, but I mean, like, if it would ruin the story, I feel like you kind of have to question, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, if you can't say, like, definitively, like, yes or no, like, I don't know that your storytelling is maybe strong enough in that way. Like, because that's, like, the thing. Like, I'm not going to get into a whole thing about spoiler culture, but I feel like if you have one big twist that's, like, the linchpin for your whole story, like, you might need a stronger story.
I'm someone who is very much of like a spoiler. Well, the surprises of a story can affect you emotionally and affect the story.
No, and I don't disagree, but I think you need to have a stronger core than one reveal.
And I think they probably do, and I think that like most likely, like most of the time, that isn't the case where it is one strong like twist, but like. Even if there is more, they're probably just trying their hardest to not give away any of them. Like, I wouldn't, even if there is more than just one big twist that is important, like, I still wouldn't want to say the big twist.
Yeah, you're not like...
Yeah. No, and that's true. And
there's still more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying the way that article, like, that was framed, where they basically said, like, are you going to do, like, bury your gays? And they were like... we're gonna tell the story that we're gonna tell, and it was like, okay,
maybe they already had plans to use her use a misdirect, so they didn't want to.
It's just one of those things where it's like, I get that, like, the people have like probably embargoes and things that they can't talk about or whatever, but just like, I should look up the way that article was framed, because just the answer was like just super, super dodgy and like not like really accepting of like, because I feel like you could even say like, hey, we totally hear what people are saying, like, just maybe trust us like to tell the story. Even that, like, I don't think I'd be happy with that answer, but I think it would be better.
So can I ask you, if it turns out that this was just a misdirect and the girl's fine, and it is, I mean, Joel or maybe a third character, I would think the only reason that it would be one of these two characters. It's either a misdirect to make it look that Joel's fine, or Joel, or it is actually the girl dies. If it is Joel dies and this was just a misdirect, would you be okay with that? Would you be fine that like the gay relationship is, you know, alive? She's fine. There was no bury the gays. That it was just used as a misdirect. Would you be okay that the story still has that element and doesn't contain like the final product does not have barrier gays? Would you be?
I mean, I think it would be better that way, I think. But like I said, like I just think like using that for marketing just really sucks. So I don't know. It's one of those things of like, I think it would be better than doing the thing that everybody thinks you're gonna do, especially because you've already killed a lot of queer people in your game. No. Like, it's wild that like The Last of Us technically has a lot of queer representation, but a lot of those folks are like half of them are dead already.
I'd be curious to know. Like, I'm not sure how many characters lived through The Last of Us.
Yeah, well, it's just wild that, like, because most AAA games, like how many AAA games can you say that have, like, outside of, like, maybe, like, a Mass Effect or a Dragon Age, like, how many can you be like, yeah, there are 4 canon queer characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then half of them are dead.
Yeah. I mean, any big story, you know, they definitely, if they include queer characters, that they tend to go barrier gays. I know that was a big thing with Voltron, was that you know, the one people were like, finally actual gay representation, and they're like, oh, he's dead. Yeah. So yeah, and it's one of those things too where it would be if they do this, it would also be super frustrating because they already did it with Riley and Ellie. Like they already did it once, so like doing it again would be like, one, really fucking lazy.
It's kind of
two, just like it would just be boring. Like what?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I think it's not it. Like Naughty Dog's better at writing than that. Like I don't think they just do it again.
Say that, but like I was talking about this on Plus One Player of like Naughty Dog games tend to be what you expect them to be. Like, The Last of Us is the only one in the series, so we can't judge it off of that. But, like, when you play an Uncharted, you know what you're gonna get.
I didn't know. Not Uncharted 4, at least. 3,
I mean, I haven't
2,
played Uncharted
1.
4, so I can't speak
4
to that.
and Lost Legacy and Last of Us, like, anything from Neil Druckmann and on have all been,
I don't
like,
count
not
Lost
what I
Legacy
thought.
because that's, like, its own thing, and they, like, went out of their way to make it, like, a standalone thing. But, like...
Yeah.
The Uncharted games, like, you pretty much know what you're gonna expect. And
you know what you're gonna expect in, like, tone. I don't think you know what you're gonna expect in, like, writing.
Every Uncharted game,
I
guess you know that there will be a twist at the end where there's like, you know, there.
Well, and you kind of like, you know, like Nathan Drake is gonna be up to his same bullshit.
Yeah,
again and again.
But that doesn't mean you know what's gonna happen in the story.
Yeah,
the story is
no,
very
I mean,
like.
I found myself not being very surprised by Uncharted, and I think it's just because I came to it really late. Like I played it like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So
did
I
you
think
play through 1, 2, and 3 pretty much?
Yeah, I did the like PS4 collection. And then I finished 3 and I was like, I don't really want to play 4. I didn't really enjoy this.
Oh, man.
I don't really like, it's just not for me.
Yeah.
And I think it was just like, I came to it a little bit too late, I think.
Yeah. Especially like people starting Uncharted 1 in like nowadays, I'm like,
Uncharted 1 is bad.
I don't, it's not great.
It doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think it's bad, but it definitely doesn't feel great. Like it does not feel good mechanically in comparison to the others. And it's also a very mediocre kind of like story.
It was like, there was a point where
it's just meh. Like it's very like, eh.
Yeah.
I just like, I think I'm just like, I'm not as hot on Naughty Dog as everyone is. And again, like I tend to be kind of a resident cynic. So like, I don't know.
I'm telling you, man, 4 is so good.
I'm gonna probably be on the fence about it for a while. And like, too, I don't even like. I'm not super invested in The Last of Us 2. Like, I liked the first game. I finished it. I didn't really think it needed a sequel.
No, definitely not.
I mean, it's a.
I was with you there, where I was just like, when they announced that they were doing another one, I was like, no, don't do that, because the ending was so good. The ending, like, if you had just like cut that and never done anything else with that again, I would have been like, it's such fucking respect. But they weren't going to, because it made a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
But like, I'm still very hopeful because I personally am a huge fan of Naughty Dog, specifically because of Last of Us and Uncharted 4. Like, I love Uncharted 4. That one's so good. But I'm really looking forward to it. But I am like a little. It's one of those things where I didn't want a sequel, but like when they announced it, I was like, damn it. But then over time, I'm like, but it's still Neil Druckmann, so it's like, and he's not gonna do it if he's not gonna be able to do like what he wants and like try and at least live up to the last one. So like I'm gonna like it. Like I know I'm gonna have a good time, so I'm excited.
Yeah, and I mean I'm still intrigued by it because I really, really genuinely like zombie fiction. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Meh.
Yeah.
Darian, did you want to go through questions?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you want to be a part of the show? Go to readysetgamecast.com/submit to submit a question, comment, or your favorite self-care activity for us to read on the show. The first question is from Mark, and he asks, why did Caitlin choose to cancel Slay?
So, that's a complicated question. The main thing is it just like a lot of us were having a really hard time keeping up with it. A lot of us were having a hard time with mental health stuff, and it just got really overwhelming in a lot of ways. And there was just some stuff where it was like not really tenable to keep going. So we kind of collectively decided that we needed to take a break, and then things just kind of fell apart from there. And it's a bummer. It sucks, but you know, it happens.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, making things is always draining. So there's always a point where you go, you know, is this like okay to keep doing? And I know that a lot of people love Slay, so it's cool that you even made something so awesome.
Yeah, and I mean maybe we'll do something again. I don't know. I can't say it's not going to be that same group of people again, but you know, anything's possible. Slay as it was is gone, but you know, shit happens all the time, so it was fun while it lasted. So
cool.
All right, the next two questions are from Zyger. The first question is, when is RSG Wendy's RPG podcast happening?
When can we all go grab some Wendy's? Let's go.
I've got a Wendy's.
There's one right down here.
I would eat the heck out of Baconator. Maybe.
Oh.
I'm working on my Extra Life milestones. Actually, I feel like that's something I would have to schedule for, but it would be cool to drop in the Wendy's RPG just for the heck of it. But I feel like that would be a thing that you'd have to be like, this is what I'm doing today.
Oh, no, absolutely. That would take a lot of work and setup.
Well, you could just take the pre-made written one off and do it during your stream.
But you'd still have to like play, you know, do that, you know.
You've got a couple weeks still. You can do that. You have 3 weeks still.
Yeah. Do you know how much I have so much planning to do? It's a lot. And
hey, man.
So add it
Wendy's
to the
takes
list.
priority, all right?
Because,
Do it.
Baconators take priority.
Right now, I need 6 more milestones. I bought a little spinner, so whenever people donate at least $10, people are gonna spin from the spinner, and it's gonna right now. It's got shock, which we have a little thing that'll like shock your finger.
The shock finger, yeah.
We've got you got to eat a Bean Boozled bean. Donate $5 to Extra Life. I've got little Mario magnets on my fridge that I figure you can just rearrange that, and we'll post a picture of it. We do have a free space, so if you get that one, you're safe. And I need to come up with more stuff. So, oh yeah, and I went to Target the other day, and they had this game called Monopoly Cash Grab, which is like a money gun that you just like shoot. And you're supposed to like grab as much of the money as you can. And it's like, this is a dumb game, and thus it's on clearance. And I was like, $10 for a money gun?
And thus
sure.
I buy it.
Yeah, so I bought it for just a money gun. So if when we get $50, we'll just spray money all over. I mean, it's Monopoly money, but it'll be fine.
Yeah. You get the point.
Yeah, so I'm still trying to figure out a lot of stuff, and that's not even figuring out the schedule. Figuring out what games I'm playing and who's going to be there is Extra Life is a whole big thing.
Yep, that's why Uppercut doesn't do it. Because it's too much.
Yeah.
It's
I
too
didn't do it
hard.
last year. I need to do it this year. But even in the past, I didn't do anything huge or insane. It was just like a couple of donation goals. And in the past, I also did like played a scary game, which everybody, really.
Yeah. We already
liked
did a
because I
charity
fucking
stream.
hate
We've done 2 charity streams this year, and I'm like, we're good. We did
Yeah.
it.
For anybody who's listening, October 26th, I will be doing my
Oh God,
20 what?
that is coming up very soon.
Yes, it is. October 26th, I will be doing.
No, I'm probably not doing anything this
Well, the actual Extra Life Day is the first Saturday in November, but I don't do it then because that's when like Rooster Teeth and Kinda Funny will be doing it. I'm like, no one's gonna watch mine if I have to compete with those. So I usually do it the week before, or the week after, and the week after I'm going to GalaxyCon in Minneapolis. Hey, Teddy Chinares, guess who was just announced at GalaxyCon?
Will Smith.
No, that would be.
I don't know. I was trying to think of some celebrity, and this is the first one that popped into my head.
Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy.
AKA Karen Gillan.
Yep.
AKA Amy. Amelia Pond.
Yeah, I'm excited. They have a photo op with David Tennant and her, and I'm like, they were never on
That
the
also doesn't really make much sense.
they were never on the
canonically, but
show
okay.
together, but okay, fine.
Yeah, that's not really how that worked.
I
but
mean, it's
all right.
fine. I wanna get my picture
That's
taken with
cool.
both of those people, so let's just
Yeah.
do a twofer.
Man, y'all remember Doctor Who?
Yes, it still
What
exists.
a time. Yeah, but like it's been gone for a while, and the last season wasn't that great.
Yeah, they're taking a long break this time.
Oh yeah, they were like, oh, it comes back in like a year and a half, and I'm like, what? Why? But all right.
Well, that's entertainment for you.
Rest in peace.
Speaking of entertainment, this brings us to housekeeping.
I didn't read the second question.
You're right.
You went off on such a long tangent that had nothing to do with the question.
Speaking of entertainment, here's the second question from Zyger.
Burger King has 3 arcade-like games: Sneak King, Pocket Bike Racer, and Big Bumpin'. KFC has a dating sim, and Wendy's has a tabletop RPG. If the choice of yours, what?
If the choice was yours, I don't know.
If
Choice
the choice
is yours, what
was
is the
yours.
next fast food company to make a game, and what type of game is
Oh,
it?
that's a great question. But for a second, can I do a quick little sidebar? Do y'all remember they had a Cocoa Puff cereal game where the cuckoo for Cocoa Puff's bird, whatever his name was like sledding down.
I remember this, yeah.
Yes, I think you got like a CD. And like I played the shit out of that. I don't know why, but I did.
Talking of cereal games, Chex Quest best one. Let's be honest.
I didn't know there were
Post?
multiple.
Post used to have a whole website of really fun Flash
absolutely.
games.
Yes, there was one
My
for like
favorite-
honeycombs.
Yeah, my
That was
favorite
dope.
one was you'd play table air hockey against a octopus who would have multiple fucking handles, and you only had one, and you had to beat him, and he was always a cheating son of a bitch because he had like 2 or more on the table at a time. He was also an idiot because if you shot it fast enough, he'd like cross his arms and look really confused if he made it in. It was great.
Damn.
I
Suck
grew up
it.
on those Flash games.
The Cocoa Puffs game is called Sonny's Race for Chocolate Taste. And
Sounds
yup,
right.
he's sledding down a mountain. It's pretty great.
That's a pretty good name.
Oh, he's not sledding, he's snowboarding.
Oh, well, now none of it makes sense.
Nick's Octo Hockey. Hold on, can I play this?
Can you?
Oh my god.
Can you not?
Let's see. What is the next fast food company to make a game? What type of game is it?
I feel
That's
like
a
it
very
has
good
to be
question.
like Taco Bell, right?
Yeah,
That's
I was-
immediately what I thought of.
That was the
Taco
first
Bell.
thought I
don't
had.
know why.
Honestly, I'm
Jeez.
surprised Taco Bell hasn't.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a Taco Bell like match 3 game or something.
Taco Bell probably is next though, if you think about it,
Yeah.
because Taco Bell, KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut are gonna do the next thing because they're all owned by the same.
Aren't they all owned by the same like parent company?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Okay.
There's like combination Taco Bell, Pizza Huts, and Taco Bell, KFCs. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I feel like
they
it'll be
gotta
like
do
a Taco
something.
Bell / Pizza Hut, like either like a match 3 or you know those games where you can like build the food like and
Yup.
serve it and you get points for it. I feel like it's gonna be something like that.
That's what I was gonna say. The Pizza Hut one should be just like in Club Penguin when you went into the pizza parlor and you squirted that hot sauce on there, threw the squid on there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Man, shout out to the Club Penguin pizza game.
God, shout out to Club Penguin. You remember Puffles?
Yeah,
I had a
do.
stuffed Puffle. I had a stuffed green Puffle. I was that young when I was super into Club
loved
Penguin.
Club Penguin and was also a catfish on there.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Part of how I figured out I was gay was I would catfish girls on Club Penguin.
Did you? Oh my God, that
That's
is
what I like to
100%
hear.
a thing that I saw happening all the fucking.
And it was just Caitlin.
It was me. It was
Caitlin the whole
always
time.
me.
Guys, I was wrong. He doesn't have multiple things out.
Oh.
Everything you remember of your childhood is wrong.
My whole child. Oh my God! I just hit a vortex on the table and it split into 3 different air hockey pucks. Oh my God!
Okay.
Oh my God.
Darren is now playing video games during the podcast.
I'm playing a video game.
In the Puffle shop. Do you know what I'm saying? There was some weird shit happening there.
Yeah,
people
there was
used to
some
pretend
sketch-ass
that they were
shit.
like kids. They're not kids, like babies. It was like an adoption place, and I always went in there being like, "What is happening in here?"
Yeah, the Club Penguin like roleplay scene was truly wild, and I didn't get like very far into it, but like that people were doing some wild shit.
Yeah, you at least saw it. Like it was visible. It was on display.
Okay, maybe it's a good thing Club Penguin's gone.
Hey man, Club Penguin Rewritten still exists.
And it's great.
It's great. You can go in and play that.
Okay then.
yeah.
I think I mean, technically they already have a video game, but I would say Domino's because they have the I think it's like Genesis, the Yo Noid game.
Oh yeah.
Back when the Noid was a thing. Oh, it says Nintendo. It looks like it came out, for the NES. But I would say like a Domino. Technically, this could be Pizza Hut too. I just eat more Domino's, and it would just be like a game about delivering pizza, and it's like Paperboy. But I would actually like it to be like a driving game where it's all about like you have to drive carefully and not mess up your pizza, but drive fast. But they don't have that 30-minute limit anymore, so I don't know. It'd just be cool. We just got to drive. And in VR, somebody needs to make a fast food delivery VR game.
VR game.
Yep, it'll be great.
No. That's just Grubhub. That's a real thing.
Yeah, they just put you. This is a game made corp.
Grubhub needs to make a game. Is what needs to happen.
No,
That gets too fucking cyberpunk dystopia. That's like it's just like the gig economy simulator. And that's just too sad.
This is just a Game Made Corp tangent, but like you could make it as a like delivery simulator where you're like wearing the helmet and or VR game and you're like, oh, I'm delivering it, and really you're just controlling a robot somewhere who is like, oh, I'm delivering. So they're having people play a game about, but really you're just doing work for them. Okay, that's the questions and comments. Thank you to Mark and Saiger for the questions. Now we go to housekeeping. Go to lastgeek.com for links to the podcast on all your favorite podcast services, including iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher, and the other ones. They're also there, probably, as well as the video version on youtube.com/lastgeek. Also, if you like the show, please subscribe, rate, and review it on iTunes and Stitcher. It helps us grow and become more powerful.
Oh, I didn't know we were supposed to flex. Oops.
I used to never do that, so it's okay.
I put it in the thing.
The outline.
Yeah, that's
he
the
never
one.
ever
I
tells
fucked
the
that up.
guest.
Sorry.
No one would read the entire thing.
Y'all,
It's fine.
I'm also canonically illiterate, so
Damn.
Okay.
it's a little hard.
Other Last Geek stuff you should check out. New Game Make Corp episode exists. Untitled Cat Game. Yeah, I remember. Some stuff got cut out of that. I don't know what the final product is, but I know not of that specific game, but a different game. Things got cut. but I do know that it was a game where you play as a cat and you have to try and eat food off your owner's table. And depending on what you eat, you get different powers. And if you eat lasagna, you become Garfield.
That sounds like a copyright infringement.
I don't know if you know this, but none of the Game A Corp games need to follow actual copyright rules. A merch store exists. Go to lastgeek.com/merch to buy shirts, leggings, magnets, posters. They're all there. They're dope. The Overcooked 2 Let's Play is publicly available to all the people at youtube.com/lastgeek. It's me and Beckers playing through Overcooked, the normal game. Eventually, when I can schedule it, we're going to play through the DLC with all of us. But scheduling things is hard. Also, for the Patreons who give at least $1 on patreon.com/lastgeek, the first part of our Monster Prom playthrough is available. It is about 2 hours in total, so we split it into two videos. So you got to watch the first half right now, and we'll release the second half later. Also, we went to 2DCon 2019, which is a convention in Minneapolis, and we interviewed some local developers showing off games like Hyperdot, Newt 1, and Ella Metals. Darian did the Newt 1 interview, and I did Hyperdot and Ella Metals. So,
And you don't have to watch the Newt one. That's fine.
This brings us to the end of the podcast where we ask Caitlin, where can people hear more from you?
So if you want to follow me, the person, which is a questionable choice, but I'll let you live your life, I am at CG and 8 R's on Twitter. And if you want to find the video game website that I created and run with some of my pals, you can find that at Uppercut Crit on Twitter or uppercutcrit.com. We have 4 podcasts now that are all up on the site that are pretty cool, as long with like fun written content and cool critical stuff. And we like stream sometimes and whatever. We're doing cool spooky stuff for the month. So yeah, check that out.
Cool. Darian, where can people find out what you're up to?
Twitch.tv/dexterity. Also Twitter and Instagram and stuff. Same name. DEXTERIDEE.
Teddy Chinaris, what about you?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Teddy Chinaris. Last name spelled CHINARIS. And Twitter, the same place. You can find me at the local Oscar's Taco Shop in Nashville. Hell yeah. Getting some surf and turf nachos in my life.
Surf and turf.
They're
Ew.
really good. It's steak and shrimp on like nachos. It's so good.
Okay, then. You can follow me on Twitter at LastGeek. You can follow me on Instagram at LastGeekPlays. You can follow me on Twitch at LastGeekPlays, which you should, and attend my Extra Life stream and help donate. If I can get my $2,000 goal, which is very lofty, but if I can get my $2,000 goal, my girlfriend says I can buy a mannequin. I have picked out the mannequin. It's gonna be.
No.
It's gonna
Why
be.
would you want
It's gonna
to do
be
that?
in my office.
He's weird.
It's gonna wear the Game 8 Corp leggings, and it'll be great.
No.
That sounds terrible.
No.
Please help me reach this goal.
No, honey.
Don't do it.
And we're gonna
Bring him to
Sweetie, no.
1,950.
and I will help you name it. Right now, I'm leaning towards Manny the mannequin, but I'll leave it up to the donators.
I hate
Which
it, but also love it.
Facebook.com/LastGeek. I think that's everything. At lastgeek.com for the links to the podcasts and all that great content. This brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you for everyone who spoke on this podcast, and thank you, and thank you to everyone listening on your devices. And we will see you again in 2 weeks. Goodbye.
Guys, The Witcher 3 comes out on Switch next Tuesday, and I'm excited. Bye.
Yikes.